We'll continue reading the book, The Spiritual Anatomy by Daaji. And today we are going to understand about the third chakra, love. Last 2 Saturdays, we understood first chakra, that is acceptance, having the earth element. Second chakra, the peace or the spiritual heart. And the element is space. Now, today we'll understand the third chakra. In the third chakra, the prominent element is fire. The color is white and the location is upper left chest. The 3 which you can see in the figure, that is the third chakra. And the defining quality is love. And the main feelings are compassion, poise, love, anger, volatility, and irritability. And the direction of this chakra is clockwise. Now, as we move from the second chakra to third chakra, the restlessness increases to achieve the goal, that is reaching the source. And we are not satisfied with the temporary peace and happiness which we have encountered at the second chakra. We want it to be permanent. So that restlessness continues as we move to the third chakra. And this restlessness sparked the fire of life, love, the very essence of life. Now, love is the engine of the world. It is a beautiful thing one can give or receive. So, in Spiritual Anatomy Project, the fire of love is the transformative energy that elevates our being to a higher level. Now, this love is not similar to our human love. We express and we get hurt or disappointed. This is divine love. And divine love is like a rare flower, the fragrance of which transforms everyone around it. The divine love can be poured over others with confidence, without any disappointment or hurt. The divine love rejuvenates our subtle bodies, and it also changes the vibratory structure of our being. So from love, many qualities are blossom, out of which compassion and empathy are the foremost. Now, as we progress or cultivate the third chakra, love, compassion, empathy, these are the 3 qualities which blossoms. The compassion has started from second chakra, but when the love enters, then the compassion, peaks at its highest potential. So now to understand compassion, we have to understand the opposite, that is selfishness. So selfishness, it comes from me, mine, self-centered nature. On the other hand, the compassionate people, they don't have time to think about themselves. The idea for others is highly predominant. As our passion is directed from the heart, it helps us to evolve our consciousness forward and towards the greatest potential. And the compassionate people, there is no selection process, like whom to show compassion and whom not to show compassion. It is similar to everyone. So, the gold melts and then it forms into beautiful ornament. Similarly, a meditative heart dissolves all the boundaries over time and you embrace one and all. Now, you don't see people, their flaw. You don't identify people with their flaw. You see beauty in their flaw and embrace them as they are. You feel joyful, you feel cheerful. Now we'll understand what is the difference between compassion and empathy. Empathy is a feeling and a compassion is an action. For example, you may feel that someone is hungry and you feel empathetic. Now, when you take action to feed that person or empower that person, that becomes the compassion. And at the third chakra, as love grows, there is no sense of who is giving or receiving or who is sacrificing for whom. You do and move on. There is no expectation. There is no hoarding. In selfishness, there is a hoarding. While compassion, you give and give, and you don't expect any acknowledgement or any publicity or anything, you know. On the other hand, selfishness, it hoards. It wants publicity. Oh, I have done it. I have donated this much money, or I have donated land. You know, there is hoarding in the selfishness. But in compassion, you just give without any expectations. Now, let us see what are the conditions you experience at the third chakra. That is volatility of emotions, transformative power of the fire element, and ascent toward the goal. As we cultivate or blossom the third chakra, the love, then the various conditions we experience are volatility of emotions. Now, what is volatility of emotions? There is a residue element of irritability and anger that affects us at this chakra, you know. So the anger is a very tricky one. Every highest meditators also finds difficult in, you know, practicing um, anger subduation. We know Vishwamitra, he's such an sage Vishwamitra, angry person. It is very tricky to understand the anger. So, what Daji says is the beautiful tip for managing anger is to postpone it. When we get angry, what happens? You cause hurt, tension, and conflict, and among the people, and mostly it happens to loved ones. So, when anger is an energy, you know, but that energy, when we divert it to our improvement, then it is a righteous anger. But then, when it is directed towards hurt and this results in the negative energy. So the most appropriate tip is to postpone it. When you feel anger, just consciously decide to postpone. Don't say anything, remain in silent. That gives you a time to understand why this anger is coming from the deep within. What is it triggering? You know, is it irritation? Is it, you know, not liking that person or not liking the situation, or there is an expectation? You understand, you allow. While you postpone, you allow yourself to transform into what? A sweet compassion. Like mangoes, when it is not ripened, like when you eat it too many mangoes, you may get blisters in mouth. But at the same time, when you allow it to ripe, the whole house is spread with the fragrance of ripened mango, isn't it? It becomes sweet. So like that, you postpone your anger and transform into sweet compassion. Then the second condition, what you experience at the third chakra, is the transformative power of the fire element. Now we know that fire element gives us vibrancy, it dissolves mental blocks and keeps our inner being supple. So at this chakra, we experience this vibrancy, and so we can cut through all the obstacles and connect with others openly and compassionately. As I said earlier, we no longer see the people, identify the people with flaws, but see the beauty in their flaws and imperfections and embrace them fully. And as you progress on your spiritual journey, your focus becomes increasingly fixed on the goal. And through devotion, your heart transforms into pure and loving space. And the third, what we experience is ascent toward the goal. Now we know fire, it always moves upward, right? Burns upward. Even if the matchstick you put it upside down also, it will burn upward. So at the fire chakra, your love also ascends like a flame. Your journey has transformed the wastelands of hatred into a green shoots of love. You do silent acts of compassion. Your heart melts and your love ascends. Through your practice, your heart becomes a holy receptacle that lights up a blazing flame of love. And at the third chakra, you don't pretend to love, it becomes your nature. Then Daji explains his own experience that he is stuck at the third chakra. He's feeling that he's struggling to master the third chakra. And once he saw and dream Bapuji, his guru, he said, once you cross the third chakra, then your reaching spiritual progress to reaching the source will be like a rocket. Then once in 1986, when he was traveling to India along with Guru Chariji, and the Calcutta City of Joy, where there was a session of evening with ghazals. And Chariji loved the ghazals and music and he was enjoying it. And Daji was just observing him, and also at the same time here he's observing his inner self. He saw that Chariji is enjoying the ghazal music and tapping his fingers the lab and each lyrics he's enjoying it. As he was listening and observing him, he immediately experienced a kind of a laser being at the third to fourth chakra, movement from third chakra to fourth chakra, the feeling of movement straight in his heart. And he looked up at Chariji and both of their eyes met and he just showed a gesture of a hand movement. And Bapuji and Raji then expressed his gratitude. They were sitting at a far distance. There were hundreds of people in that room at that time. But Daji observed, because of his observance of inner self and his Guru Chariji, that he got that experience. He moved from third chakra to fourth chakra. So he says divine knowledge is not taught, but it is caught. So this completes our third chakra, love. Hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know if anyone wants to share any experience or input. Unmute yourself. As we are at the third chakra, you all must be identifying yourself of which stage and what qualities have you felt of acceptance, have you felt of peace, have you felt of compassion and empathy as you move from one chakra to another chakra, the progress, the feelings. Postponing of anger, really, I have also practiced. It gives us the time immediately instead of reacting and hurting others. If we pause in silence for some time, and next day you realize that there is no use of getting anger. There are maybe certain situation is a culprit, or the way your perspective makes it more, situation conflict based. If you postpone it to next day, for example, you'll understand that your perspective was different. There are more of assumptions, more of expectations, more of irritability of your own judgment. So you understand all that. So postponing really helps. That I myself have experienced it. Anyone would like to say anything? Please unmute yourself. I hope I was audible. If there are more sharing, we shall end the session and we'll meet in the next session with another masters. Have a miraculous day. Thank you once again for joining and adding your energies. Thank you so much.